What's up, nerds? Welcome to Cool Nerd Reviews. I'm Steve Trezza.
Scott Burnett.
Ed Good.
Devin Burke.
And today we are reviewing Flash. He's back after a month hiatus. This episode is called
baby Jesus. I'm
Out
so
of Time.
glad the Flash is back.
This week, he gets in a scuffle with the Weather Wizard. He's
Again.
back, but it's not the original Weather Wizard.
Well,
it's his brother.
They never called the original one Weather Wizard.
Yeah, but he was.
Yeah. And this Weather Wizard has more control over his abilities because he can cause that big disaster, but he can
He's
control.
a lot cooler, too. The other guy kind of sucked.
Yeah, he could control the weather in a finite space. So you see him walk into the morgue and he's like, "Who killed my brother 6 months ago?" And the morgue guy's like, "I can't."
I thought it was a year ago.
What? No, 6 months.
He says 6 months.
Oh.
And then he's just like, he makes this little ball, and he wants. It's like
I think he said a year, actually.
no 6
Let's
months.
continue. All right, we'll get the clip.
Play the clip.
Okay.
Say 1 year ago. Boom. I win.
I'm gonna say 6 months.
6 months.
You were shot by a cop a little over 6 months ago.
And
Well,
then
continue.
he creates this like little ball, and it winds up being hail, but he can like control it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And the actor, they got a really good actor to play a. He's not gonna be a one-off,
Oh.
but he's gonna be
I think he's
slightly
well-
recurring.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be one off. You want to know why? Because you know they're going to build the Rogues. And
Yeah.
he's part of the Rogues.
And he played Spartacus after the original Spartacus died.
Oh no shit! All right, so the CW bringing in another Spartacus actor.
Yep.
We got
The Spartacus.
I am
All right.
Spartacus.
Next thing thing you know,
Spartacus.
they're gonna bring in the original Spartacus on iZombie. They're just gonna have his corpse.
That's
Oh.
terrible.
Too soon? What is he here? Jesus Christ!
He's here in our spirits.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a sad story.
Whatever.
All right.
Like cancer.
Fuck
Anyway, so
As Stephen Amell would say, fuck cancer. All right.
exactly, it was a good
Good
episode.
friend Stephen Amell.
So Barry kind of discovered his first little time travel movement when he was trying to go and get a Weather Wizard.
Well, he doesn't realize it at first
Oh,
because he's running towards I guess the alarm or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And he sees himself
Yeah.
running, and he doesn't know why. And then he brings it up to Dr. Wells later, and he's like, when I was running, I saw myself, and it was weird. And Dr. Wells is like, it's probably just the reflection or the
Well,
science. Blah.
That was a great
And
nod.
Dr. Wells was like,
Yeah.
oh.
That was a great nod to the comics, because when Flash does time travel, he can pass himself in that time travel.
Yeah. They were nodding to the comics so much in this episode, they looked like Michael J. Fox. They were just like shaking all
dude,
over the
come
place.
on.
I'm in it already. God damn it, I'm going to hell. I'm just booking a front row ticket.
First class.
Michael J. Fox, we're talking about time travel.
Yeah,
Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
it literally is called Out of Time.
That's what
which
you get
is the
for
license
fucking around
plate
with time
on the
travel. You
Back to
get
the Future
Parkinson's.
So
PSA.
All right.
so that happens. And Dr. Wells is probably like, like he knows what's going on.
Yeah, of course he does.
So he just feeds Barry this bullshit excuse.
Mirage.
It's just like whatever. So then,
Tom Cavanaugh is nailing
He's killing
this
it.
role.
he is.
No
He
pun
is-
intended.
He's a really good actor. Grant Gustin is a good actor.
He's pretty good. He's you could tell he's new. He's to this whole type of acting.
But he's doing a really good job.
He's doing really good.
Yeah.
And the actor that really reigns in this entire show is Jesse L. Martin, who plays Iris' dad.
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
He's so good.
actor.
so phenomenal. And
And I mean,
they can't kill
You
him
got
off.
Cisco and Caitlin.
they're really good. They're decent. And Cisco kind of showed his
acting.
acting chops in this episode because when Wells starts to catch.
Well, Iris, the head
Her
journalist
mentor,
or
her
whatever,
mentor in the
Yeah.
journalism.
tells her, there's something up with Dr. Wells and
Yeah.
you should investigate it. So she starts asking
Something's
Barry.
up with that guy too.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know it now because now he's saying.
Yeah, he
shit.
even said, I even have stuff and you'll see in the papers.
Yeah. So now she asks Barry. Barry's like, no, and
Why should it be Hunter Zolomon, Professor Zoom?
and so then then she asks Cisco and Caitlin, and then they start the investigation. Which, slightly off topic, the episode actually opened up in the bowling alley with the double date between Barry.
which is awkward as shit.
It was
Yeah.
very awkward because you had the awkwardness, the whole
what are they doing?
Iris wiping like the shit off of Barry's
Yeah.
whatever, and then you see like the clip of both Linda and Eddie, and they're both kind of like all jealous.
Yeah. What are they doing with Linda? I get what they're doing with Eddie, but they kind of just brought Linda in just to do this.
Yep, pretty much.
Basically, and I heard Wally West is coming in season 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why though.
They put out a casting call for Wally West, and that's really all we have on it. But as we know, Linda is Wally West's future wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, back on topic. So then we go to Cisco and Caitlin, who's there.
I don't get this part. Was the Reverse Flash in that containment field a recording?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That at least that's what I got from it.
100%. It's like a, like Star Wars. How
hologram.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hologram.
And then it showed how Wells kind of like he literally went so fast he split himself into 2.
Yeah.
After image.
Well, that happened after. So Cisco goes and Cisco
does a Cisco thing.
He says to Caitlin, you know what? Like, this is more than one person that said they think something's up with Dr. Wells. I think we should look more into this, and I don't understand why the field failed that one night.
Dude, a bunch of fucking Stevie Wonders over there.
Yeah.
You could tell goddamn Wells was up to something.
No, yeah, exactly. So then he's like, just keep him out of the office, or keep him out of Star Labs for a little bit. So she, brings him to
lunch.
Jitters, and they have the coffee, and she wants to keep him there. And he knows what's up right from the get-go.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's what's funny with me, because, he's obviously, just letting this unfold for a bit, and he's like, let's get those cars to go. She's like, no, I want to stay and talk. She's like, no, let's get these cars to go. And she's like, okay, and then, she goes...
Sassy black woman. Get these coffees to
go!
Alright. Anyway, so she actually
Sassy
said,
black
can I
woman.
get these cars to go? And then she turns around and he's just out of his chair. Why did he just do that at any point where he felt like he had to go now? Why did he have to wait
Because
till
he
she had
couldn't
to
do
turn
it while
around?
she's looking at him, because he didn't want to give himself up.
But he practically did anyway.
He did later, but that's only because he needed to get the verification. Also, if you're gonna give yourself up, you might as well just do it to as little people as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would be Cisco, one person, rather than 2 people.
But he did do it to 2 people.
Well, you're right. You're right, because
Who?
when Caitlin turns
Well,
around,
I guess that's true.
He's
he's
gone.
not in the wheelchair anymore.
Man, he must have done some modifications to that thing. That wheelchair's gone.
So,
It's
so
like
No,
fire.
no,
the
wheelchair
wheelchair's
was
still
there.
there.
Oh,
That's
shit.
what I'm
I was gonna
saying.
make a Back to the Future joke. There's like fire.
I'm saying he could have just
trash.
went up the wheel at
Wheel-
any point in time.
wheelchair's still there.
Somebody kidnapped him.
So,
Poor paralyzed Dr.
and then Cisco does a really good job. He turns on the containment field, and then you see the Reverse Flash in there, and he's like, he gives this scared face, and then he realizes, oh, it's a recording, and then the next thing you know, here's Dr. Wells standing there. There's another surprise for Cisco, and then he reveals himself.
Well, that's what I was saying. Cisco showed his acting chops because when he realized what was going on, he just broke down into tears because he knew there was nothing he could do. He's not outrunning the Reverse Flash.
Right.
He's not doing that. And
Yep.
then
Well-
Harrison Wells delivers one of the most chilling lines I've heard in a TV show, where he just looks at him and he's like, "Well," Cisco goes, "I could help you." He goes,
First,
"Well, you're smart."
he reveals himself as Eobard Thawne.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is the Reverse Flash? Who we've been wondering this whole time.
Yep.
What's the deal with him?
Well, it was either him or Hunter Zolomon, and Eobard Thawne is the legitimate Reverse Flash, who's just an enemy of the Flash. Professor Zoom is Hunter Zolomon, who's trying to make the Flash better to get a bigger Speed Force. So, I'm Eobard Thawne. He's like, you could say Eddie's a distant relative. And then Cisco goes, "Well, I can help you." Wells says, "You're smart, but not that smart. And for what it's worth, for me, you've been dead for centuries." And then he sticks his hand in his chest
Well,
and
first he
stops.
vibrates so fast that he can go through matter.
Yeah.
Right. And they did such a great job with Wells' entry because they key into the part of the recording of Reverse Flash where he says, "I'm the reverse." You would say, "I'm the reverse," and that's when he turns around and there's Wells. Their timing with everything was just perfect. And he reveals not just that he's
He's terrifying.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
one of the most terrifying villains
he explains
on TV.
Because he's
I
very
think.
calculated, and the thing is, the only thing I know Tom Cavanaugh from is Scrubs. And he's JD.
Oh, yeah.
He's JD's brother, so he's just this jovial, happy character, and then he's this fucking psychopath in the Flash.
So I know Tom Cavanaugh from a movie called what was it called? Bang Bang You're Dead, which is a great movie. But he's got that. His acting range is just huge, and this whole
They
scene
casted this show really, really well.
And just even more on the scene, it's just not only does he say his name, he makes those comments. He pretty much says the entire, mystery of
everything we wanted to hear.
Everything we wanted to hear.
Revealed everything.
Yep. Like,
But that leads me to believe what the fuck is going to go on the rest of the season.
But the thing is,
this is the thing. This is why I think seasons should be 10 to 13 episodes a piece, because the Flash took so long
to get here.
Yeah.
Right.
Where it could have done this in so few episodes, where I think it probably lost viewers in the beginning because it was just kind of
like you could
campy and very villain of the
It is
week. And,
campy.
yeah.
It was campy. It's not so much campy anymore. Whereas, like,
well,
when it first...
kind of is.
You're starting to get half the
but
episode
not really.
to progress
Not
the
like
story.
it was.
No, yeah.
And then half of it's
You're
relevant.
staying kind of on a main story. You have a couple storylines that are going on right now that are continuing. Yeah, you still have some villain of the weeks, but the villain of the week progresses the storyline.
Well, think about it this week. Their villain of the week was a fifth of the Rogues, so that's another ongoing story. And then it was so both.
It's definitely an indirect story.
Yeah,
Right.
But I don't have a problem with villain of the week if it progresses the main storyline of the season.
But that's the thing with
they do
this episode. It did progress in a sense, but yet at the same time,
It brought it back.
It brought it back.
Well,
Which-
they used the plot device of time travel,
Yes.
very well, because they took a lot of risks. Because one, we didn't mention, Barry and Iris kiss.
Yeah, and she
while this whole Reverse Flash thing's going on with Cisco and everything, then you have Weather Wizard who's out to get Joe because Joe had killed his brother in episode 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he captures him. He finds him, goes to the police station, takes down the police, captures Joe, puts him on this like garbage embargo, and like rides it into the middle of the river or bay or whatever,
and throws a tidal wave,
and a really well done tidal wave,
and tries to throw a tidal wave at the city, at Central City.
And much like every problem,
so
Caitlin's like, you just gotta run real fast and make a wall of wind.
So Barry's there, and Barry's actually there with Iris because he's with Iris when he takes Joe.
Yeah.
So when Weather Wizard takes Joe. So Barry's there with Iris, and he has to do it. So he's like, I didn't want you to find out this way,
and
but
he
whatever.
He does it.
So first they kiss.
Yeah.
And because then she says, you know, they have this whole heart-touching moment where it's like, no, I didn't think I would feel this way, but ever since you told me, I feel this way too. And then they make out. CW. And then he's like, yeah, all CW. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, awesome, they're going to make out. Which I was watching with Devin, and I thought they were going to make out earlier in the episode when they were on the couch. And I was like, they're going to make out. And they didn't. And I was like, all right, well, they're going to make out later.
Yeah.
And then that happened. And I was like, all right, I knew that was coming. So then, yeah, you got to run really fast to stop the tidal wave.
He runs back and forth.
Runs so fast, he goes back in time.
Yeah. So
to the first 5 minutes of the
first couple minutes of the episode, and then the episode's over.
Yeah.
So everything that happened
didn't happen.
Cisco dying, Weather Wizard taking Joe, Weather Wizard using the tidal wave against the city, Iris and Barry kiss, and
no
everything.
Police attacking.
Police attacking. Nothing happened.
Singh got paralyzed.
Completely wiped away the episode.
The thing is, I knew it was coming because they were taking huge chances for the CW.
Yeah.
They paralyzed Singh. Barry revealed himself. Cisco died. Joe was very close to dying. They had so many
and you find out and Dr. Wells reveals himself to Cisco as he was. And Caitlin also kind of knew what was up too. She didn't know who it was, but she knew something was up.
So Barry's gonna go back in time. He's got to relive this whole day.
But that's the thing. The only thing he knows is that Weather Wizard's on the loose, and that he's going to possibly kiss the girl of his dreams.
But that's the thing.
But that's it. Nothing
He's gonna try so hard to get everything back the way it was. He's
but that's only two things.
Something up. Yeah, but
we saw in the preview who catches Weather Wizard like instantly.
That's probably what's gonna happen. Is he's gonna go for Weather Wizard. You're also probably not gonna see Iris go to Cisco and Caitlin and say, you know, what's going on with Dr. Wells. Like, that whole thing might not happen.
Yeah, so...
Because Barry might diffuse that when she immediately comes in.
So
and he might fuck shit up with Iris also. He might jump the gun.
He will. I guarantee he will.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, so she's going to go right ahead. Everything's
he's going to go right ahead.
And that's why Eddie punches him in the preview.
Yeah. Probably.
Because he probably preemptively kisses Iris and fucks shit up. And Eddie's like, what the fuck are you doing?
So, now that, you know, like, he's back in time and stuff, what I'm curious about with the whole Wells thing is that before he goes back in time, what was Wells' plan afterwards after killing Cisco? Because if his plan was to, you know, he revealed himself to goddamn, what's her name? Fuck. Caitlin. he reveals himself to her. Obviously, he reveals.
Not really, because she doesn't know these Reverse Flash, but she knows something's up.
No, but obviously, he's gone out of his chair. He's gone really fast. You can put kind of 2 and 2 together. Especially since, like, Cisco is saying he could be a really bad person, or even Reverse Flash, like he's in a wheelchair.
So here's the thing, though. They don't need to touch upon that now. They don't even. That's one of those things that it's going to be very television.
Yeah.
That they're not going to even touch upon.
I don't even think it's going to be brought up.
That's what I'm so upset about, because, which I'm hoping for next week, that Wells is actually not affected by the time travel. Because he's not part of this time.
You think his consciousness is just transported from wherever back to the past?
Yeah, because he's not affected by this time stream. Because he's not part of this time,
well, that's the thing. He was the first. He went back in time for the first time, but he when Barry goes back in time, it's going to affect him because he exists in that time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's done like that, then I'm curious. In which this will still happen, what his plan is.
Yeah, he's going to stop.
Because he obviously has a plan in which that he can just kill off people that he's been friends with, and that a plan's already in motion.
Watch this happen. Watch, when he saves Weather Wizard, Joe doesn't get put in peril. He's going to contact Iris. Iris is going to tell him that she was like, oh, I told Cisco to investigate. He's going to go and find out. And he's going to stop Cisco from dying because Cisco is not...
Stop Cisco from investigating, I feel like. Cisco, I think that they're still going to be working with Wells for another few episodes before Reverse Flash, you see Reverse Flash come back again. And that's what I think is going to happen.
Devin, what I also think is...
And Cisco's vibe. They're not killing him off.
Right. So one of the things that I also think the way they're going to kind of touch upon that is I don't necessarily think that Wells is going to have the memory of what happened, but... when Barry tells him that, he time travels, he's going to realize, or Wells is going to be like, okay. Remember, he has to siphon off the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which they haven't really touched upon yet.
But they touch upon it slightly when he's saying,
I've
been trapped here, this and that sort of thing. So
I need to go back to my own time.
Right. Yeah. So he's going to realize, okay, Barry has now reached that speed that he can travel in time. That's what he needs. That's what, Wells needs. So I think that they'll touch more upon that as a way to, kind of, focus on the time travel. Not necessarily Wells oh, well, I also remember what happened when the time changed.
But, but that's what I'm, semi-curious about is because when he's killing Cisco and everything, he already has a plan in motion. That he does need Flash
he
still.
Could, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just knew... because when Barry said,
he was gonna get caught.
I see myself, maybe he just knew Barry was going to go back in time.
He has such confidence and maybe such of his skill back or something that he's able to do it.
But here's the thing.
Whether what happens in that time stream or in this current one, that he has a plan going through.
Mm-hmm. Right, now. So here's the thing though. You realize his plan is going to be, get Flash fast enough. The other characters don't matter to him.
Right.
So, since Barry is not there, he could easily come up with some bullshit because, like I said, he's not like he puts a hole through his chest. He vibrates his arm, puts it through, stops his heart. Oh, well, he was trying to do something with the containment field. And that's what killed him.
Yeah.
It's a simple fix that I don't think they're even going to touch upon because of the fact it's such a simple television fix.
And the other thing is, I know you're kind of mad because you just feel like this episode didn't matter. But,
in a sense.
But this episode, first off, they needed to touch upon time travel, and they did it in a very good way.
Great way.
It wasn't the fucking. It wasn't the treadmill like it was in the comics.
No, that's what I'm grateful for. That it actually showed time travel,
which they have.
It's just that the way that this was done was that all the key important things that we discovered is nulled and void in a sense.
Yes,
only for the viewer to know.
Exactly, and that's why they did it. They did it for only the viewer to know. So now the viewer knows and no one else knows. So it kind of gives it that. Great. It kind of gives it that horror movie feel of the villains around the corner, that whole feel with the entire.
Yeah, we already knew that with all the other hints. He has the suit in his house.
Hold on, time out.
He is running
but
fast.
Now it's just exasperated.
But you realize, you realize we knew that.
Yes.
But somebody who doesn't watch or read comics or follow comics doesn't fucking know that.
And think about it this way. Think about it this way. Watch them like what Steve said. If they do work with, Wells in the next couple episodes.
No, yeah.
Think about what the viewer's gonna think. oh shit, he's the bad guy. How do you not know he's the bad guy? Like
exactly.
they're
I know,
he's
that's
right
why,
there.
It's gonna
That's
put a
why
sense
I'm
of
really
tension.
excited for
It was a
more
view-
next week.
it was a viewer episode.
And the next episode.
And I'm wondering if they're gonna go like the Back to the Future route next week and go like the whole like you see everything
Multiverse.
that you just saw again, but unfold in a completely different way.
Multiverse.
Right.
You know?
Well, no,
like-
the thing is, he's gonna do one thing different, and he's gonna see things
Change.
change.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Yeah.
see the butterfly effect,
Yes.
and that's why Captain Cold and Heatwave come back next week.
Right.
They come back next week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
it's
just
called
thought-
Cold at a Time or something like that.
There's a when they talk about even though when you go back in time and change one thing, you have a ripple effect. Like they show Captain Cold shooting Cisco, I believe, in the preview. So that might be like the whole instead of Joe getting kidnapped, Cisco gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Why
you know.
Cisco just keep dying?
Groundhog
They
Day.
keep
for
having to
Cisco.
go back in time to save
I was
him.
like, all right, hold on.
There's gonna be an episode called
He always just
Groundhog
says,
Day.
like, Cisco, no.
Like the mystery spot episode of Supernatural.
There you
when
go.
Dean kept
Yep.
dying.
Yep. That's great.
All right, so
Great
yeah,
episode,
so that was basically it in a nutshell. I think
That wasn't a nutshell.
Look at me. I'm in this
That
giant
was-
bloody nutshell.
That was just a
Shame
lot
on
of
you.
stuff.
No one likes Austin Powers anymore.
whatever.
That was a lot.
It was a good episode, very good episode.
I think it was one. They say mid-season finale. I think because of the way they used the time travel as the plot device and brought everything
It
back.
was one of the best Flash
Yeah.
episodes. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
if it was
hands down.
the best, but it was definitely one
And
of the best.
Flash is week to week just blowing these other shows out of the water.
I don't know.
It
I
just
really
came
liked
back.
I really liked Arrow this week, but we'll get to that in the Arrow review, which you can watch right here.
That's self-advertising.
Well, thank you for listening. And
That's
stay
like a
tuned.
dog licking his own
Like,
balls.
favorite, subscribe as always.
Yep. Stay tuned
Like,
for our
subscribe,
other reviews.
Watch our other reviews. We got Walking Dead. We've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're watching the Flash review, and we have Arrow.
And watch Super Fight because it's we put a lot of work into it. It's funny. It's
Yeah,
good.
Superfight's funny. You should watch it.
I look very different in it.
Until then, we'll see you guys on one of our other reviews or next week.